Hello, everybody. Welcome to Championship predictions for round 22. Before it goes crazy after Christmas, we have one more round across the weekend before. And Sam, a rare win for me, a reasonably comfortable win for me back in round 21. 10 points to 5. You had Sheffield United 2, Plymouth 0, the classic Bramall Lane clean sheet win. But I got 2 bob on. I had Coventry 2, Hull 1, and Norwich 1, Burnley 2. That puts your lead down to 2 on the weekly. So you're 10-8 up. And it's really close, actually, in the aggregate. 147 points to you, 142 points to me. How about that? Welcome to the latest predictions, Sam.
Yeah, I can't hide my disappointment because I think when the results are rattling through at the moment, I always feel like I've done better than I ultimately have. So I don't know what's going on. You're either overperforming your XG or
Yeah.
I'm just getting a little bit complacent. But there's a lot of points to be had over the next 10 days or so.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of tired predictions from me and Sam. Maybe we'll leave the goal open for the opponent. Get involved in the comments. You know the scoring system, don't you? If you get an outcome right, home, away, or draw, give yourself 1 point. If you get a result right, bob on, give yourself 3 points. If your result is correct and it has 5 or more goals, give yourself a bonus point. Sam, you're going to be doing this one for the TV. Your Friday night game, your starter for 10 is Luton versus Derby.
Yeah, difficult one to kick off, I think. You could get all 3 outcomes here quite easily, I would suggest, given Luton's woes consistently this season. Probably 2 of my favourite managers, I think, in the Championship, who I'll have a really nice vantage point to keep an eye across their demeanours throughout the proceedings. Oh, I'm just going to have to play a 1-1 here. I think it would be a much better point for Derby, wouldn't it? But I think given that it's the festive period now, you know, the collective points that Luton can accumulate over the next 4 or 5 games is probably going to be the making or the breaking of this season. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 Derby to continue in a decent vein of form after that thumping win over Pompey.
Yeah, I think I might back Luton on this one, Sam. So impressed with Derby at Pride Park. Brilliant win, like you said, against Pompey. But Luton, I think Rob Edwards had it at 18 points in 9 games at home in the last 9. I assume taking out that Burnley game at the start of the season. They're decent at home. So I'll give Derby a goal and I'll go Luton 2, Derby 1. Hull versus Swansea, and I'm up first. Hull fans, let us know. Did you see any improvement immediately from Ruben Selles? Took the lead, didn't they, at Coventry? I think Coventry had to come back to win that one, but Hull are still bottom. I think I'll hedge my bets and play the 1-1 on this one, Sam. Swansea are, they're in the top 10, aren't they? They're nicely positioned and prove us wrong a fair bit. So I'll go for them to take a point here. Hull 1. Swansea 1.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Swansea react. Obviously, the recent form's been pretty good, and I backed them quite heavily to beat Sunderland. So on this podcast, so I don't know why I'm feeling this, but I just think I've been competitive in their first 2 games under Ruben Selles, and I fancy them to get that elusive victory here. I'm going to go for Hull to win 1-0.
Portsmouth v Coventry. John Massinio and John Harley looked a bit crestfallen. Why are all these shots? Why is every shot Derby taking going in? One of those for Pompey. Are they going to bounce back against Coventry, Sam?
Oh, well, they need a response, don't they? And they've been in a much better place in recent times. So much so that I think we waxed lyrical to a degree about them, maybe on the last podcast. So I think they'll get something here. I'm probably not going to be strong enough to go for a victory, however, but I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
That's not a scribble, but it was certainly in my head as a possible result for this one. Yeah, you think you're going to get the reaction, but I think Coventry are going to trend up, aren't they? So being you've taken the draw, I might take the Coventry win then, and probably fall flat on my face. Pompey haven't scored in the last 2 games. So let's go for that to continue. Let's go Pompey 0, Coventry 1. I am up first for Sheffield Wednesday versus Stoke City, which I can call the Stephen Fletcher derby, can I? No, is it Sunderland? I can't. He must have played for him, mustn't he? I can't remember. Anyway, I have Sheffield Wednesday higher on my totem pile. Well, they're higher in the league table, frankly, than Stoke at the moment. If you watch the Checking podcast, you know Stoke concede a fair few amount of chances, and I think that might be their undoing here. Do I go both teams to score? Yes, I will. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Stoke 1.
Yeah, it's a struggle for Stoke at the moment, isn't it? I haven't had too much time this morning, but I think by my maths, Ben Gibson scored 5 goals this season, 3 in the right net, 2 in his own goal, and
any in the same game?
He scored another one, which went in off the goalkeeper. Like I think it hit the post or hit his backside. I can't recall exactly. Johansson. So really, he scored 3 own goals and 3 in the right end. And I think twice it happened in the same game. Obviously, most recently against Cardiff, he scored in both ends. I think it was against Derby the other game. So I mean, that's unprecedented, isn't it? It's incredible. So anyway, whatever happens here, Ben Gibson's going to score in both ends. But it's going to be Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke 1. Sheffield Wednesday, no, sorry, 2-0. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke 0. No Gibson own goal. Gibson own goal, no Gibson in the right end. Sorry, I'm butchering this, but 2-0, Sheffield Wednesday back-to-back.
Burnley v Watford.
Ruined my whole gag there. Burnley, Watford. Short and sweet, 1-0 Burnley.
That is a scribble for me. I was thinking, okay, Burnley clean sheet, Trafford in form, Watford better at home than away. So let's give Watford some respect here, Sam. You said on the Championship Checking podcast that you've kind of seen a more balanced, kind of approach, and what's the kind way of saying it? Less hodgepodgey in their kind of performances. So let's go for them to shock Turf Moor and get a draw here. Grab themselves a goal. I know you told me that Burnley never concede more than 1, so I'll have to go 1-1. Burnley 1, Watford 1, which brings us to Cardiff versus Sheffield United. And Sam, surely everyone's going away win on this one. Sheffield United in imperious form, very, very hard to score against. Very hard to play against. Obviously, Bramall Lane is the place, but Cardiff, how did you describe it? As a kind of, a fall off, frankly, since the new manager bounce happened. Falling a bit flat. Cardiff 0, Sheffield United 1.
It sounds like they did okay at Stoke. I think maybe shaded that game. Willock looked like he was up for it. All of a sudden, I think Mayte improved, but it was a very much a new look Cardiff, and I think they're still really hindered by injuries. I think Ramsey's going to be out still long term, and some others as well that are going to be missing. So they have been rocked continually because of that, and I just can't see anything here other than the Sheffield United win. I don't think they've won in 6, Cardiff, since the game prior to the Luton one that I covered. I'll raise you by 1, 2-0 Blades.
And Leeds, with their magnificent home record, I think it's like 8 wins in a row. So they'll be able to match Sheffield United's 9 wins in a row, if I'm correct about that. I'm sure I'll be told in the comments if I'm not. And looks gnarly for Oxford. I don't know who's going to be taking the team, but you don't want to be going to Elland Road at the moment, Sam. Leeds, Oxford.
Yeah, and some of these games where teams have gone up there, I think Argyle, I felt make a better fist of it, but I just think, they're at a low ebb at the moment. And you can't, I don't know exactly who's going to come in and motivate and inspire and try and get them organised for this game. So I'm going to have to just go big. I'm going to go 4-0 Leeds.
It's a scribble. I was going to go 4-0. Oh, crikey. I'll take the edge off it then, Sam. I'll go 3-0, but let it be known for the record, if Sam gets the 4-0, I was gonna say that, but I'll happily take it if it's 3-0. And I'm sure Oxford will happily take a point, but you can understand why we're a bit heavy on Leeds here. Millwall versus Blackburn. I've got to do it again, haven't I? What would it be? 7 straight wins and 6 straight clean sheets. I'm going to go Millwall 0, Blackburn 1, and I'm going to keep doing it until the run ends.
Yeah, David Livermore's going to be in charge of the team, isn't he? Which surprised me to a degree.
Is he one of Harris's guys?
Yeah, I played with both of them that brief period I was at Millwall. I played with him again at Luton. Binny's obviously is consistent number 2 throughout. I presume Adam Barrett will be still on the staff, who's been there throughout as well, these couple of tenures. So not a great deal is going to change. But I think that uncertainty makes it tougher to see Millwall winning this game. I would have half fancied them to get something if Harris was still there. So I'm going to go for Blackburn as well, just considering the form and the uncertainty at the Den. You went 1-0, did you?
I did.
I'll go 2-1.
The Finn Azaz derby, Sam, is Plymouth versus Middlesbrough.
Goals.
I was going to say, I'll start you off with both teams to score.
Yeah, both teams to score. It's either 3-2 Middlesbrough or 2-2 for me. I've already had. I just feel that Argyle will rally, but maybe it won't come here. I just think Middlesbrough might have too much quality and too much attacking creativity for Argyle to be able to live with them. I'm going to go for 2-3 just for fun.
And for a bonus point, I agree with your premise there. I like Middlesbrough at the moment. They're winning a lot of games. We know Plymouth bank on home form, but I think Middlesbrough are going to be too good for them. So I will shave off one of your Plymouth goals and go for Argyle 1, Middlesbrough 3. We had this pegged on the Championship Check-In podcast as a mouth-watering matchup between QPR and Preston, who are both doing really nicely at the moment. We were talking about them in not so glowing relegation terms, I don't know, 6-7 games ago each. Both have put on good runs. So I'm going to go with home advantage here. I'm going to back QPR to win this game by 2-0.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I thought it was at Preston, this game.
Much trickier. Much trickier.
Yeah, I would have gone for Preston by 1-0 up there. I mean, I didn't make him. He was very, very keen on it at the time. But one of my sons sit through that first half at Ashton Gate the other day. My goodness me. I don't think they had a shot, QPR. And we left the house just as Scott Twine was bending in that beautiful free kick. I mean, it's some run that QPR are on, but I'd probably go with you as well. Did you go 1-0?
2.
I'll go 1-0 QPR.
Sunderland versus Norwich, 7 points in the 3-game week for Sunderland. Norwich down to 12, 1 point in the 3-game week from them.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of inconsistency from Norwich. Obviously, they had a couple of results when they were really patched up, which caught the eye, and it looked like they were going to come through what's been an incredibly difficult period for them with a good point return. I see them being obviously a problem for Sunderland here and probably scoring, but I think I'd either go score draw or I'd go Sunderland to nick it. I'm going to go for Sunderland to nick it by 2-1.
Yeah, and my pen has been busy because I'm scribbling that out. I had Sunderland 2-1. You fancy Norwich to score, but I fancy Sunderland of coming out of the woods of a difficult run, and like you said on the check-in, Sam, big win for the Black Cats. So against my better judgment, because Norwich have got good attacking output, haven't they? I'll go 1-0 to Sunderland. And it is West Brom versus Bristol City. Is this one on the Sunday? The Taylor Gardner Hickman derby. That one's niche, isn't it? West Brom finally lost for the first time in forever over at Watford. Feels like a 0-0 or a 1-1, doesn't it? Bristol City like a draw as well. They've drawn their last two. Oh, but I've predicted West Brom to draw so many times, haven't I? Well, I've been right a fair amount of those. Go on, I'll back the baggies. West Brom 1, Bristol City 0.
I'll take a draw here. I think Bristol City were far and away the better team against QPR for certainly the first half and the majority. Couldn't find that kind of golden chance in the first half. But yeah, I think they are capable, aren't they, of upsetting the odds. West Brom still struggling for those victories. 1-1. More than happy to round it off with a 1-1. Stinks of it.
Stinks of it. Brilliant stuff. We'll put the fixtures down in the description. Copy and paste. Get your own predictions in via the comments. Let us know your scores after the fact. After we finish recording this show, Sam and I are both going to look at our diaries with no slots in them and look at the EFL diary with 500 slots in them and try and figure out when we're next going to be with you for the predictions. We'll try and keep them going as best we can. Have a very, very wonderful Christmas, everybody, with your families. And we'll see you at some point in the gap in between with some predictions. As and when that will happen, just make sure you've hit subscribe and it will pop up in your feed when it's going to happen. But happy Christmas, everyone, and we'll see you for the next one.